H-E-R.
Keeping your personal information safe and your computers virus-free takes a lot more than just updating your antivirus software. Here to give us a behind-the-scenes look on how you can protect yourselves online is Jeremy.
Thanks, Cher. Today I begin part one of a sterile and risky three-part series on networking and computer security. So alert your cyber antibodies as we prepare you with the basic knowledge of protecting your computers from these annoying, pesky, and sneaky viruses that lurk all over the internet today. These malicious pieces of code come in all forms, shapes, and sizes, and are as cold and calculating as the coders who write them. These critters can steal your credit card information and banking information. They can log everything you type on your home computers while simultaneously spamming out millions of emails to all your friends and family. Listening to your microphones and watching your webcams are some of the gruesome and invasive habits of these unwanted parasites. It really is a scary, dark truth to the internet today. Part one of our series will be teaching you what an IP address is, how it works, and what function it serves. Part two will be discussing the basics of firewalls, how they protect your home computers, and how to configure one. In conclusion to our series, we will be going through the different types of viruses on the internet today and the selection of antivirus software on the market available to you. Finally, we will go through how to exterminate and eradicate them when infected. So if you're watching at home right now, own a computer, and know little or nothing about network security and computer security, alert your cyber immune system because this will prepare you for the inevitable, a dangerous run-in with a computer virus. To understand an IP address, we're going to compare it to this model office building. Think of the office building as the computer. Each window in this office building represents an apartment where a piece of software may live, or in other words, may be stored. Now, this building has a public address where letters, packages, messages, and visitors can refer to when coming to the building. Now, the office building's public address is 10 Rogers Way, Suite 455, Toronto, Ontario. Now, if you notice, the Rogers building's address had 5 parts to it. It has the street number, the street name, the suite number, the city, and the province. With this information, anyone, anywhere in the world can send mail, people, and packages to this address. Now, the same is with a computer. The computer's public address is called an IP address, which stands for Internet Protocol. And it also has 5 parts to it. Only its parts do not contain letters, but only numbers. An example of an IP address is this: 74.51.34.51, port 110. Do you see the 5 parts? The public IP address is the first 4 numbers. The 5th after the colon is the port number, which we will get to in a minute. Now, there are limitations on the IP address. The 4 numbers in the IP address will never be higher than 255, as well as the port number will never be higher than 65,535. Now, let's get back to the office building. When packages are delivered to the building, to their specific suite, imagine how tired, lost, and delirious a mail person would be running all those floors delivering packages to 65,000 plus units in the building. Hence, the mailroom.
Ta-da!
Here, when a piece of mail is delivered and it's addressed to 2344 in the unit building, the letter will be put into the mailbox and that letter will be delivered to that unit. Simple, isn't it? Now, on an IP address, the port is like the mailbox. For instance, accepting mail goes by default to port 110. So when an email is sent to your computer's IP address, it'll go on port 110. Your internet traffic that goes through your web browser, such as Internet Explorer or Firefox, all that information is sent through port 80. It's really that simple. So your secure traffic, such as your information that you send to your banking websites or your credit card websites, all that information is done on port 443. That's your secure traffic port. So one more time, we can go through this. This is an IP address, which is sending secure internet traffic to your banks and website company or credit card companies. This is an IP address, which is sending information through your web browser, such as Google, visiting yahoo.com, places such as that. This is an IP address prepared to accept email. So remember, information flows through ports inside of your IP address, delivering the email, web traffic, and the video that makes your internet experience a pleasant one. But Cher, let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If you had an office building with 65,535 units in it, would you leave all those doors and windows open?
Wow, my air conditioning bill would be huge. Of course not.
No, I'm talking about free for anybody to come and knock and enter, even unauthorized.
Now that's pretty scary.
That is pretty scary. On my next segment of networking and computer security, we will be covering how to close all your windows and lock all your doors.
Lock it down.
Now, since you understand what an IP address is and how it works, I shall teach you how to put up a firewall in our next segment and protect these ports from unwanted intruders.
Like these guys?
Exactly. And also, if your unwanted intruders ever get in, we'll also show you how to configure your firewall to keep them from getting information out of your computer. Now, did you have any questions?
I did actually. The other day, I was reading something about IP addresses, and it's funny that you bring this up today. I heard that they're actually running out. Is that true?
Yes, actually, it's very true. On February 4th of this year, the internet actually ran out of IP addresses.
So they actually ran out. They're not running out. I thought maybe, 2012, with everything else going on, that we'd see
gone.
something. So they're gone.
They're actually gone, yes.
So what happens?
Well, originally when they made, the IP system, they never, thought that there would be 4 billion computers in the world.
Like the Y2K thing, you never...
Exactly. So on the current numbering system that computers use, there's only room for about 4 billion addresses.
Okay.
And as of February 4th, they were all handed out. They're
all
gone
of them,
now.
4 billion.
Exactly.
Yeah, okay.
So now what they're doing is they're running on to what's called IV version 6, which if you compared the two, like let's say the amount of IP addresses that we currently have now is a marble, okay, and that represented all the IP addresses available into the world. On the new version, IP version 6, that marble would be comparable to the sun.
Okay.
That's how many, it's 400 trillion IP addresses.
So you're telling me they learned their lesson?
Yes, they definitely learned their lesson.
Okay, and another question. So we're talking about IP addresses and security. Do you have any advice or tips? I know we're going to get into detail and go behind the scenes and really get a good understanding. But in the meantime, while our viewers are waiting for part 2 and part 3, what can you tell them now to keep them safe online?
Well, first of all, make sure you only download content and videos and music and documents from websites that you trust. Most people, when they download this content, that's how they catch their viruses, because they don't know who they're downloading from, right? So, sometimes that free piece of software that you see on the internet that you think is free, and even though you download it, it may open and function completely normally, chances are it has a computer virus attached to it that's stealing your information on your computer.
There's never a free lunch.
Never
okay?
a free lunch ever.
Never a free program. Yeah, because people have to get paid, right?
People have to get paid.
Right. And if they don't, they'll get paid another way with viruses and malware. And you really scared me when you started talking about people tapping into your webcams. What's that all about?
It's these programs are more than capable of doing it. I mean, a lot of this software is actually available online for free.
Oh, wow.
So as long as you had, a little bit of computer knowledge, I mean, you could download these viruses yourself and send them out to people on your own.
That scares me.
It definitely scares me too.
I definitely can't wait to link into number 2 and number 3, because I really want to start protecting myself, because I know a lot of people think that, I've got my antivirus software. I'm good. I'm golden. Is that the case?
No, that's definitely not the
case. I
case.
didn't think so. Definitely want to thank you for coming out and sharing this with us, and we are so looking forward to part 2 and part 3. So coming up next after the break, we're going to be talking about how to deal with our outdated and broken technology. Do you just throw it in the trash, or is there something better?